Hello everybody, welcome back. Gonna do some adjustments here, so don't mind the Blair Witch Project camera work here for just a second, and also the oh so flattering up close angles while I get us all adjusted. I said I would do my usual spiel while I get us all adjusted. How are we doing today? It's a nice Wednesday. It's a pretty nice day out today. Nice fall. I love the drives are getting a little bit better now because all the leaves, the foliage is turning. We've got nice red and orange all the time, and it's nice. So those longer commutes are pretty nice nowadays. It's still way too much. Okay, let's see where we're at. I feel like we're back in our early days of the adjusting. This should be good. Okay. All right, everybody. Hello, welcome. This is going to be Swift Tea, episode 2, part 2. We're going to talk all things tea, all things Red, Taylor's version, all of the song inspo. We've got our devices. We're going to look up that inspiration for all of the Red Taylor's version songs. And we are just 2 days away from 1989 Taylor's version release, which some of us are very, very excited about. I admit I have not ordered my physical copy of the CD yet, so I need to do that. But I know some people are really, really looking forward to that. So
it's really only like a little over 24 hours.
Yeah,
before
about
midnight.
True. Yeah. So we're down to like 27 and some hours. I'm sure there's a countdown going on her site. I'm sure. I still feel like crooked. So we've got that to look forward to this week. I'm not sure if anybody has any weekend plans, but some of them might include listening to 1989 Taylor's version. We really dropped the ball on the themed outfits tonight. Mine has absolutely nothing to do with Taylor Swift, but
Other than it's a cute fall outfit.
Yes, the autumn leaves are falling, and yes, very much fall, very much autumn. The sweater vest is actually, hear me on this. The sweater vest is called the Down in Flames sweater vest, 1989. Nice. So there's that. And the sweater vest is from Tropical Emma and Grace Boutique, and the little turtleneck is from the Tiny Closet Boutique. It's the Up at Dawn top in black, and then I'm wearing some Free People jeans. And that's it. I didn't feel like changing. I'm getting stuff ready for a fun Halloween weekend, and I just didn't feel like changing. I've got a lot of things going on my screen here, so we're going to get all that cleaned up. Okay. All right. Here we go. We're going to talk about Red, Taylor's version, and I usually try and be so prepared for these episodes, and I am really not tonight. I honestly, we talked about this a little bit in our last episode, which if you have not seen it yet, the last episode you can find here on my page. Scroll down, it's from 2 weeks ago. Here are my live videos, but also you can find it on my YouTube channel as well. It was uploaded a few days ago over there, so you can check that out. And I also uploaded I went live last night as well, actually, and did some movie reviews, so that video is coming to YouTube most likely tonight. I'm going to download that one and upload it, and then this episode, if you're watching it now as a replay, and you're watching it here on Instagram, this episode will be available on YouTube probably like Friday or Saturday night, probably. So you can look forward to it this week. While you're listening to 1989, you can be listening to our episode. Perfect. This is perfect. And I talked about this a little bit in our last thing, I have to get on my... if you're new here to the page, I'm Caitlin. I'm your geeky girlfriend, and you can follow me on YouTube as well and subscribe over there. And most of the content is the same. I usually drop both videos in both places, but I do have a couple of YouTube exclusive videos over there. So if you are interested, make sure you check it out. And as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-star at JDudeDude05. And We're here and we're back. And this has been a great series, and we're making very good progress through the series. And I will go ahead and say this before we get into tonight's video too far, because I know a lot of people think Red Taylor's version, and they think of All Too Well. And we talked about it in our last Red episode as well, that All Too Well is actually going to be its own separate episode, because I think there's an hour's worth of stuff to unpack in All Too Well, especially if you talk about the 10-minute version and the original version. So that's going to be its own. We will do a full deep dive of All Too Well very soon. So just look out for that. It's coming. We have to do a short film review. We're going to talk about the song, all of the inspiration behind it. We will just briefly talk about it tonight, just All Too Well, here it is, but we're going to do a deep dive into All Too Well exclusively in a separate episode, because there's just way too much. We could spend the whole episode talking about it.
Yeah.
And Red is already such a lengthy album. There are so many tracks. So we kind of have to mind our time a little bit. So, and I would much rather devote a whole episode to All Too Well, because let's be real, it's the best one.
It is
the best one on the album. But we talked, both of us kind of said in our last episode, if you haven't watched it, like I said, go back and check that out. But we were both kind of saying that there are some really, really great songs on Red. Really great songs. Begin Again, All Too Well.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of Starlight. And there are some some really good ones. And then there are some that just kind of fall flat, or that you can skip over, and they're just the Last Time is one that I always when I think about a skip track. It's yep, that was fun.
Yeah.
And then there are some. Obviously, we have some big singles on this album. We have We Are Never Getting Back Together, 22. Red was a little bit of a country single. It was kind of playing on the country airwaves. I Knew You Were Trouble. So this album had a lot of radio singles, and when people think of Taylor Swift, a lot of people think of 22, or think of We're Never Getting Back Together. They think of The Screaming Goat. That's me. I'm those people. So this album had a lot of big singles. And then there are also a lot of underrated tracks as well, but there are also a lot that, like I said, it was just kind of maybe I could skip that one. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think we're going to see a lot of patterns or trends throughout this album. I think we'll start to notice, chunks are all written about the same person. I think if we see that as we go through, then we can just, talk about them all at the same time. But we have, there's over 20 songs to get through if we're talking about the From the Vault tracks as well. So we better get going. We were 2 minutes late getting on, so we can go a little bit, a couple minutes over, but make sure my music doesn't start blaring here. So let's begin. You're my guest, so you may go first.
Okay.
Start us off.
The first song of the album, State of Grace. So the article that I'm looking at right now, that I have pulled up, says, fans presume that this bittersweet opener has roots in her whirlwind romance with Jake Gyllenhaal. In State of Grace, Swift sings of an unexpected, transformative relationship. Most notably, she uses the phrase, twin fire signs, 4 blue eyes. Both Swift and Gyllenhaal have blue eyes, and both were born during Sagittarius season, which is a fire sign. State of Grace was played as the opening song during the Red tour. Let's see. And then I guess the secret message behind this is I love you doesn't count after goodbye.
Ooh. Yikes. That's kind of deep. And we've talked about this before. Neither one of us was really into, the little booklets that you get. There's, a name for them, but I can't think of what the name is. But in the little lyric booklets that come with all the physical releases of the albums, Taylor would randomly scatter capital letters throughout, and then it would spell a secret message. I was never into that. I actually did not fully realize it was a thing until a couple months ago. And so all of these secret messages are actually new to me. But it's kind of interesting. And it's interesting to hear what the messages are. But yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal, we're going to hear that name a lot probably tonight. Let's see. Hello, thank you so much for joining. We're talking about Taylor Swift, Red, Taylor's version album, and I'm trying to get myself gathered up here. Okay. The next song on the album is Red, the titular track, and I just found out, like, I think I knew that this song had a music video, but I, like, really saw glimpses of it just the other day when I saw a really funny meme about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I think that song did have a music video.
Yeah,
and like I did not remember that it did.
Saying that when you texted me, but I don't think I knew that either.
So I've got like the track list pulled up on this so I can keep in order here, but then I'm also trying to find and I'm really being slow today. Nope, not that. Okay, let's see. All right, this is an article from CNET. Let's see. The album, I think it's talking about the album here. It says it's been long rumored that Red is largely about the singer-songwriter's relationship with actor Jake Gyllenhaal. However, it could be also referring to the song. But I think it's mostly talking about the album in general. I have a knot in my hair. Yeah, album. I'm trying to skim read here. See, I should have done more research about this. We'll get to that in a little bit. Okay, well, I will say one thing about, this is hard because she also has a song named Red, so everything that I find is like about the album in general, and I don't want about the album.
I can share what I have while you're still kind of seeking. So on my article that I have pulled up currently, it says it's long been suspected that Gyllenhaal is the main love interest, if you will, in this song, and he. Let's see. Swift's use of the color to symbolize powerful, unstable passion will return later down the road in Lover. And she described the experience as a real turning point for the album. See, okay. I guess my article doesn't have much information on that one either, other than it's about Jake. So, not really that helpful to just say that it's about Jake, but we want to know what about their relationship really inspired this. So,
yeah. I did see a little snippet of something a minute ago that just said that it's just about a fractured person. But what I was going to say was that this song, and she kind of just touched on it a minute ago, this song is referenced in later songs. So when she talks about, I once believed love could be burning red, but now it's golden in daylight, or burning red, she mentioned, uses colors in a lot of her discography to talk about love and relationships, and Red comes back in 1989, it comes back in Lover, her directly referencing, this song in particular. So I think I might have finally found something. I'm going to skim through. This article, if it's correct, or if it's, what I want, is from Parade. Alright, scrolling down. Trying to find, this says it's supposed to be the complete list.
Yes.
Okay. In 2013 VH1 Storytellers episode, Swift said of the title track, I was writing this song and I was thinking about correlating the colors to different feelings I was going through. Red is such an interesting color to me because you have the great part of red, the red emotions that are like daring, bold, passion, love, affection. Then on the other end of the spectrum, you have jealousy, anger, frustration, and you didn't call me back, and I need space. The needing space theme harkens back to we are never getting back together. So chances are it's about the same relationship. Her romance with Gyllenhaal. So yes. So I think, like, definitely, oh my gosh, this knot, came out of nowhere. It's probably glue. That's probably what it is. But it could, like, I think this is more of a general one. This is definitely, there aren't as many, like, direct hits on Jake as some of the other songs on the album.
There's not a lot of description either. There's a lot of metaphors in this song. So it's not like she's calling out specific things about their relationship, characteristic to their relationship. She's using a lot of, like, figurative language in this. So,
yeah. So I think it could go either way. I think you could, like, definitely you could lump Jake Gyllenhaal in here with all of this. And I guess we can briefly talk about the fact that, like, you know, if you ask any true Swiftie, like, who's Taylor Swift's, you know, who's the biggest enemy to the Swiftie-verse, it'd probably be Jake Gyllenhaal, because, and as we'll discuss in our All Too Well episode, like, she, at the time when she wrote this album, she truly felt like he just did her dirty. Like, he just committed the wrong of all wrongs, and, like, so many things. He was significantly older than her, definitely took advantage of her in multiple ways. It's alluded, but not even from a sexual or physical standpoint. Like, definitely just an emotional, mental, like, just kind of putting her through the ringer. She was, like, 20, and he was, like, 32 or something, like, significantly older than her. And just really not a good combination. Like, we have this woman who's not even a full adult yet, and then this grown man. Yeah. So just, like, emotional turmoil, and so I think, like, you definitely could just be like, it's about Jake Gyllenhaal, just to, like, dump more on him, but I also feel like you could be like, this is just about a relationship in general, or somebody grieving, or, like, somebody going through all of the feelings of a relationship, like she said, like, the beginning of, like, passion, love, and all of that, but then also, like, it's burning red. Like, it's burning jealousy, it's burning anger. Yeah. And like you said, just a lot of metaphors. Yeah. Alright, moving on.
Alright, moving on, we have Treacherous. So, there was some speculation that this could have been about Harry Styles, who has a slightly incorrect version of the lyric tattooed on his arm. I don't know what lyric that is, though. Won't stop till we surrender. Because, okay, we're just going to forget that that's about Harry Styles, because I don't think it is. That was just, like, one little,
like a guess, a rumor.
Yeah. However, it says, the secret message could also be another nod to Gyllenhaal. Swift told USA Today that Treacherous was inspired by a person that I knew from the minute I saw him, that it would end in fiery, burny wreckage, which suggests a connection to I Knew You Were Trouble, because she says, I knew you were trouble when you walked in, and if she's describing this song, Treacherous, as somebody who she knew from the minute she saw him that it would end in wreckage, kind of ties in with the other song that we need spoiler, I Knew You Were Trouble, which is also about a similar person that we've been talking about. So yeah, I think that would make sense for it to be about Jake. So yeah.
Interesting that you say that, because the next one is actually I Knew You Were Trouble. And fun fact, this is one of my least favorite songs ever because of the Screaming Goat GIF meme,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I still don't know if it's GIF or GIF. I feel like I mess it up all the time, but the little moving pictures. Sound like an old person. The moving pictures. This, I'm still looking at the same Parade article. Swift confirmed that I Knew You Were Trouble is about Harry Styles when asked about it in the 2013 Brit. Harry Styles, apparently.
I Knew You Were Trouble?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But see, I've heard that, so the part where she says, flew me to places I've never been, that part, like, makes sense because her and Jake would, like, he would take her on his private jet places. So I don't know.
Yes, but if we think about, like, if we look at Come Back Be Here, which, like, going back and forth to London. Oh, flash forward. London Boy. Ooh. Oh. Anyway, different album, different era.
Paused. Can't tell. Or we paused.
Oh, what is happening? Yes. Oh no, my camera just turned off for some. We're still on, but the camera turned off. It does that every once in a while. All right, so yeah, Swift confirmed that I Knew Your Trouble was about Harry Styles.
Interesting. I totally thought it was about Jake.
Yeah.
Wow.
Apparently, that's what she said in 2013 anyway.
Okay. Do we want to go into track 5?
We're just gonna put
touch on it.
Just briefly.
I don't want to spoil, like, our deep conversation that we're going to have as we kind of, like, really dive into it. All Too Well. Let me just brag on this song for a second. Like, when I would listen to the Red album in my car, like, obviously you tend to favor the songs that you already know and, like, the ones that were singles. But, like, there was something about this one that, like, I kept coming back to it and kept wanting to listen to it over and over and over, even though it was one that I had, like, when I started listening to the Red album regularly, I had never really heard it before. But then, like, I just loved it so much. Come to find out, I feel like everybody else in the Swiftie world, like, also favors this song as much as I did. And it's just, like, this wild phenomenon of, like, everybody is just so, like, on the same page with this song. And it was never one that was on the radio as a single.
Yes.
And it was just one that everyone just loves because of how, like, the melody is just perfect. The words are so deep. It's the perfect song that you can sing. Sorry, I'm getting too into it right now. We need to save this passion for when we do our All Too Well video. But I just want to say, like, it's the perfect, like, sad song / if you're wanting to get pumped up and, like, if you're happy and you're just feeling like you want to scream sing with your friends with all the energy, or if you're just feeling like, it's good for all those things. So anyways, spoiler alert, I guess this one is about Jake as well. I don't need my article to know this, but if you want me to cite some sources, I can, pull up those sources.
Yes.
But
This is where the hatred grew. This is what really started. I think this is what really, in my opinion, this is what really started the whole rabbit hole of, like, who's this song about? Who's this song about? Because this one is pretty much a direct hit. Short of Dear John.
See, Dear John is like a different, like, Dear John is shots fired, just like All Too Well kind of is. But Dear John is like a very, what would be the word to describe what Dear John is? It's like very cold and like very vicious. Like, I feel like Dear John is a good song, but All Too Well just like, it's on the same level with Dear John as far as like her words and like shots firing at them, but I don't know.
Ooh, good. Oh, I cannot stop yawning. OMG. But yeah, All Too Well is about Jake Gyllenhaal. We will be doing a full episode just on All Too Well, comparing the original to the 10-minute version. Then we'll throw the short film in there and talk about that. It's gonna be a whole episode just on that because there is so much to unpack, so much, like, so many direct references that once you know them, it's like that information that you just can't unknow, and now you're like, oh, well, hello, thank you for joining. We're talking about read Taylor's version and the inspiration behind her songs, and we just got done briefly discussing All Too Well, which is about Jake Gyllenhaal, and we're going to talk about that more in another episode. We're going to do a full All Too Well episode. So that is we're going to go right in. We're just going to glaze over that. Keep it for the next time. You guys will have to come back and watch the All Too Well episode because it's going to be a good one. But that brings us to track 6, which is 22. 22 was a single and is one of her more popular ones, especially when we entered the year of 2022. Red Taylor's version had come out a few months before the new year, so it was like the perfect holiday song, and there were a lot of remixes and stuff. This one is not about a man. This one is like kind of the opposite. It's about like just going out and having fun with your girls, and we're happy, free, confused, lonely at the same time, like embracing. As far as Swift songs go, this is quoting Parade magazine, 22 is one of the most straightforward, about embracing your youth, having fun with your girls, enjoying the occasional dalliance with a bad boy. Apparently, the hidden message in the lyrics of 22 was Ashley, Diana, Claire, Selena, which were Swift's BFFs at the time. Ashley Avignon? I do not know how to say that. Mm-hmm. Former Glee star Diana Agron, did not know that. Claire Calloway and Selena Gomez, whom she obviously is still very close with today. And so, yeah, I do think at least one of them, if not a couple of them, were actually in the music video as well.
Yeah, I don't know the other. I only know Selena Gomez.
I know Selena Gomez and I know Diana Agron, but I don't know if her and Diana Agron are still friends. Because I know she and Selena are still friends, but also Diana Agron probably, like, I don't really think Diana Agron is even, like, in the limelight anymore. Like, she did Glee, and that was kind of it. I haven't really seen her do anything else, so maybe she's just kind of, like, enjoying the quiet life, and we just don't see her very much. But obviously, she's very publicly friends with, like, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively and Hugh Jackman now, and so that's kind of where the spotlight is looking. So it's not to say that she's not still friends with these people, but we don't really hear that much about them. But I do think at least Selena was in the music video.
I'll have to take another look at the music video. That kind of makes me wonder a little bit now.
Maybe not. I might be wrong. Yeah. But yeah, so that one's just about having fun with your friends, living like you're 22, and just like not really caring about what's going on. You just like enjoy the moment and enjoy life. It's a very good YOLO song. And obviously, when you turn 22, it's the Taylor Swift birthday. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
Yeah.
So if you've ever seen anybody say, like, if you've ever seen that caption, or if you know somebody who's getting ready to turn 22, you can use that as their birthday post.
On my 22nd birthday, so in her song, she says, it feels like a perfect night for breakfast at midnight. So at midnight on my 22nd birthday, I had breakfast.
Nice. Solid. So I do for you. If you know somebody who's getting ready to turn 22, you can have breakfast. And they're a Swiftie. Show up with breakfast at midnight.
And similar to what she said.
Like, to the guys out there who are dating Swifties, that would be like an instant, like, marry me now, please.
Yeah. And kind of like what she said about the year 2022, I actually, at my apartment, had a couple of friends over to ring in the New Year 2022, and I had donuts at my apartment and mimosas, breakfast food. It feels like a perfect night for breakfast at midnight. At midnight, you ring in the New Year. It's the New Year 22. It was perfect. Mm-hmm. And I had just moved into my apartment. Everything about it was perfect. So just had to share that little fun.
Yes, it was a great way to ring in 2022. That's perfect.
All right. So that brings us. Anything else about that one?
Nope, that's it. That's all I got.
All right. So the next one, I Almost Do.
I love this song.
This is a very good one. So in this interpretation, according to homepage article that I am currently looking at, I Almost Do marks an essential shift. Swift still sings from a place of longing. She describes her urge to reconnect with an ex and give their relationship another try. Ultimately, however, it's a song about leaving dysfunctional love in the past. Doesn't say a name here, though. Yeah.
The article that I have does have a name. Apparently, Jake Gyllenhaal uttered the words "I almost do" in Brokeback Mountain, which he starred in. Which the irony there is very funny to me. I'm not sure if you know what Brokeback Mountain is.
I've heard of it.
About,
I don't know anything about it, but I've heard of it.
So the irony there is something. The Parade article says, Swift sings about wishing she knew how to quit someone, likely about Gyllenhaal. Famously uttered those words in Brokeback Mountain. Well, actually, no. I think I misspoke. He did not say "I almost do." He said, "I wish I knew how to quit you" in Brokeback Mountain. So he said, like, Swift sings about wishing she knew how to quit someone, and then Jake Gyllenhaal said, "I wish I knew how to quit you" in Brokeback Mountain. According to this, they do have a YouTube video linked here of that scene. So yeah. So I do have a name, but it might just be about longing and all that.
Yeah.
All right. The next one is "We Are Never Getting Back Together." This music video is iconic. If you have not seen it, it is one of my favorites. And you have to watch it all the way to the end, to the part after, like, when she's like, so he calls me up and he's like, "Ugh, I still love you," the bridge. You have to keep watching until after that, and then watch the whole premise of that music video is, like, it's kind of like a slumber party. Like, she's, like, telling her friends that they're never getting back together. And so, like, everybody's in, like, weird pajamas. And the one dancer, like, guitarist, makes the entire video. It's like when Katy Perry's Left Shark moment. Like, it was that before the Left Shark moment. Again, a whole nother set of irony given the whole Katy Perry thing. But anyway, we are never ever getting back together. Let's see. Yet another song about Gyllenhaal. Are we shocked? No. It should not be a shock at this point. And that's why we were having a hard time getting this video started, because the album itself is pretty much, like, people have just said, oh, the Red album's about Jake Gyllenhaal. The whole thing is not about Jake Gyllenhaal, but the majority of the songs are, so it's just been kind of lumped, like, oh, Red's about Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. So
apparently, when she was in the studio, and there is a YouTube video linked to this interview that they're referencing. It was in 2012 when the album originally was released. She went on Good Morning America and gave the story about how she wrote the song. And her words are, and like I said, they have linked the YouTube video here. This guy walks in who is a friend of my ex and starts talking about how he's heard we're going to get back together. And that was not the case, she said. I start telling them the story, break up, go back together, break up, go back together, just, the worst. And I picked up the guitar, and producer Max Martin said, this is what we're writing. So he's tagged in the post. There is the YouTube video there, and so yeah, it's just about, and that, if you read anything about their relationship, it was very tumultuous, and like I mentioned earlier, just kind of emotionally manipulative. Like, she, and the lyrics of All Too Well talk about this too, so again, don't want to dip my toes in too far, but she talks about, like, I kept you, or, you kept me like a secret, I kept you like an oath. So her love was very big, his was not so much, and just kind of this up and down. But again, that's what happens when you have a 20-year-old and a 32-year-old.
Yeah.
But that says something about, like, women and men, too, because you have a 20-year-old female who's like, I love you so much, I want this to be serious, and then you've got a 32-year-old man who's like, nah, you're a kid.
Yeah.
Or, like, I don't want anything serious, or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, So she just was, like, telling somebody else the story and, like, just started playing the guitar, and it just kind of came out, which is interesting. But yeah, that's all I got. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, I will make a comment about that one. I do believe that it's about Jake. However, it was like the 2013 Grammys. She performed this song, and the part where, like, in the bridge where she goes, and he calls me up and he's like, oh, I still love you. When she performed this song, she went, so he calls me up and he's like, oh, I still love you, which it, like, points to Harry Styles. Like, that makes it hint at Harry. Although I do believe that it's about Jake. But it was just interesting that she did that. And actually, when I pulled this article up, it mentioned the same thing, that she did that at the Grammys that year.
But I
remember watching her do that, and I was like, oh, it's about Harry. But then everybody else says it's about Jake, and I'm like, well, it makes sense for it to be about Jake, though, too. More clues point to Jake. But why would she do that in her performance?
But maybe because Harry was the object at the time.
Maybe.
The object of the affection at the time.
Yeah, but so when she was writing it,
when the song was written, she was telling the story and writing it about Jake. But then in 2013, she now had the whole Harry Styles thing, and so it was like, oh, like, she probably had a similar experience.
Yeah.
With that, so it could be about both. Like,
I would say
the song was written about Jake, but she felt the same way about Harry. It was just like, oh, well, let me just... And we all know, she is, like, a master of publicity, and her publicist she has to have one, should make buku money, because the things that she does in media, in marketing, and in public relations in general are truly genius, and I want to, like, she probably spends all of the time that she's not at Chiefs football games and not touring the world figuring out, like, what her next steps are. She is truly 12 steps ahead of everything, and so it could have just very well been let me just say this in a British accent to make everybody, like, go crazy, and this has to be about Harry because like, because she knows, like, that everybody loves the thrill of, like, when we're talking about 1989, the vault thing that was on Google, and, you know, you'd put in the secret words, and, like, how do you do that? How do you get Google to, like, create this special shortcut for only you, where you can type in secret words? She just... Yeah. She will never cease to amaze us.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it could be about both, and I wanted to see if it says it does not say what the, like, secret message is in that one, so.
Anything else about that one? Nope. That brings us to Stay, Stay, Stay. This is another one that kind of, like, All Too Well. Once I got into, like, listening to the Red album a lot more, this song was not very, like, it wasn't, like, popular. It wasn't put out as a single where you heard it on the radio a lot or anything like that, but I just adore this song. And it's so cute. So, anyway, the article that I'm on, homepage, it says, this song paints the key to real love as straightforward and fun, punctuated by the sound of Swift laughing at the end of her courting. Her simple request to stay acts as a foil to the hot and cold relationship described in the previous track. We're never getting back together. Stay, Stay, Stay is widely presumed to be fiction, much like the imagined characters and storylines that populate Swift's 8th and 9th albums, Folklore and Evermore. I don't know. I don't get that sense about Stay, Stay, Stay. I get the sense that it's, like, about something real that she had.
You know what? Foreshadowing. You came in wearing a football helmet. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh, shoot. But there aren't any names attached to this either.
Yeah.
But.
Okay, let's talk.
Yeah.
Football helmet. I'm just saying.
But, I don't know, because, like, it does say in this article, like, it talks about the hot and cold relationship. So maybe Jake was good enough to her at a point in time where he carried her groceries and made her laugh, and, before you, I only dated self-indulgent takers who took all their problems out on me, like, I want to know who she's speaking this lovely stuff to.
Yeah.
But
But I don't know. I do see it. I do see it as like the antithesis of we are never ever getting back together, because that song was about something real. So I do see Stay 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 being like this fictional. Like, this is what I want. Like, I have this, but this is what I really want.
That's
like
true.
I want somebody who's gonna stay, stay, stay.
Yeah, that's true.
Welcome to the video. We're talking about Red, Taylor's version. And we're gonna go on to. Do you have anything else to say about that one? No. I'm gonna move on to the last time, which I mentioned at the beginning of the video. This is one that most of the time when I'm listening to Red, I'm gonna skip. This one does feature the singer from Coldplay, and I apologize. I do not know his name off the top of my head, so I apologize for that as my lack of.
Gary Lightbody?
Yep, sounds right. Yep. And I know that during the Red tours, he actually did make a special appearance at some of the shows and did sing this live, which would have been cool to see. So this is featuring Gary Lightbody, and are we shocked? It's about Jake Gyllenhaal, they say. Apparently the linear notes were LA, On Your Break, and Parade says that though this could be about almost anyone, Swifties by and large think the song is about Gyllenhaal, and Swift hinted at an on-again, off-again relationship behind the track in an interview with NPR, and her words were, "The idea was based on this experience I had with someone who was this unreliable guy. You never knew when he's going to leave, you never knew when he's going to come back, but he always does." She said, "My visual for this song," this is all still in quotes, "there's a guy on his knees sitting on the ground outside of a door, and on the other side of the door is his girlfriend who he keeps on leaving. He keeps coming back to her, and then he leaves again. He's saying, 'This is the last time I'm going to do this to you,' and she's saying, 'This is the last time I'm asking you this. Don't do this again.' And she's wondering whether to let him in. He just wants her to give him another chance. She doesn't know if he's going to break her heart again. It's a really fragile emotion you're dealing with when you want to love someone, but you don't know if it's smart to." Those were all Swift's words, quoted, like, from the interview with NPR. So, again, kind of like Red, like, nothing specifically points to, like, Taylor has not confirmed one way or the other that it is about this person, like she has with some of the other ones, but, like, of course, like, she's singing about this on and off again relationship, and so it's like, yeah, it's probably about Jake because of the, tumultuousness of it. But I think this song could be applicable to multiple contexts. Like, I think it could be, a father-daughter situation. I think it could be like even a married couple, husband-wife separation, like, not just a boyfriend-girlfriend situation of like on again, off again. I think it could be relevant for any relationship. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll inspire me to listen to it a couple more times and get a deeper appreciation. But that's all I have. Like, it doesn't necessarily...
I think that's a good point, though. I think, like, now that you mentioned that song really could be applied to a number of situations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. The next one is Holy Ground. So this one, I think, at least the article that I've been looking at since we started, Joe Jonas.
Did the same thing.
Yep. Holy Ground is about seeing a past relationship with new eyes and coming to appreciate its value.
That's nice.
Yeah. Swift and Jonas had a notoriously messy breakup in 2008, but managed to mend things in the years since. And then it kind of quotes Taylor here, and it says, "Years had gone by, and I finally appreciated a past relationship for what it was, rather than being bitter about what it didn't end up being. I was sitting there thinking about it after, and I just seen him, and I was like, you know what? That was good. It was good having that in my life." Yeah. So, sounds like, her relationship with Joe Jonas, as she's reflecting on it, and, like, maybe she bumps into him or something, like, she's kind of reflecting, and she's, like, realizes that they're at a good place now.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like, no hard feelings anymore. kind of thing.
I like this song a lot.
It is. It's very catchy.
Yeah, very catchy, very upbeat. I really like Holy Ground. That was something new. I did not know that.
I didn't either.
That was a fun fact.
Yeah.
I learned something new from these. Anything else?
I don't think so. The next one.
Yes.
I'm glad you get this one.
I'm getting all of my favorite songs. No. Sad, Beautiful, Tragic is another one that I usually skip, and lyrically I think it is a fantastic song. However, I feel like I'm listening to this song for 20 minutes, and like I feel like Sad, Beautiful, Tragic is longer than the All Too Well 10-minute version, even though it's like 3 minutes and some. It just feels like it drags forever. I don't love the sound of her voice in it, and but anyway, let's talk about it. So, there are quotes from her here. Apparently, before a live performance of Sad, Beautiful, Tragic on the last night of the Red Tour, so one of her like speeches on the tour, she said that the song was about a relationship that ended, and she's quoted, "On the last night of the Red Tour, I kind of wanted to play a song from Red that I never really play. It's a song that really means a lot to me because a lot of the time when you think about love, you think about how it was to have a happy ending for it to count. This is a song that I wrote about a love that didn't have a happy ending, but it was still worth writing about, and it's worth singing about." The liner note clues for the track read, "While you were on a train, this may point to her romance with Gyllenhaal, a New Yorker who may well ride the subway occasionally, and who joined Mumford & Sons on a train at one point." But again, nothing specific. It's just, I think this song is just about a relationship ending in general. I do think that this one is very specific about a love relationship, because the lyric is directly saying, like, a beautiful, tragic love affair. So this one is talking about just a romantic relationship that's ending. But there are some really, really good lyrics in here. Like, when I do convince myself to listen to the song, I'm like, oh, that's a really good lyric. Like, but it doesn't happen very often that I convince myself to listen to it, because I'm like, I get to the point where I'm just like, oh, I can't stand it anymore. I have to. But yeah, so again, another one that's kind of vague, but I think Gyllenhaal's name is put on it just because his name is kind of smeared all over the album. At this point, it might as well be written in his blood. At this point. That's all I have.
Okay.
Oh, the next one is so good.
The next one is The Lucky One. I love this song. So this one, I wouldn't have thought about this, but since I'm reading it, it kind of makes sense. A semi-autobiographical song about stardom. So it makes it clear in the song's very first line that she is not the protagonist in this story. And then this article is quoting the line, "New to town with a made-up name." The fictional tale seems inspired by a patchwork of female starlets, including Britney Spears, Joni Mitchell, and Kim Wilde. At the time, Swift was in talks to portray Mitchell in a big screen adaptation of Sheila Weller's book, Girls Like Us. The Lucky One also interpolates a melody from Wilde's 1888 single, 4-letter word. So I guess it's not really about a person. It's more of like an experience of experiencing fame, sort of, and what the kind of things that are spoken to you and such.
Yeah. I feel like The Lucky One was the last great American dynasty before, the Lucky One paved the way for the last great American dynasty.
Yeah.
And which is a historically accurate song. And I did get the autobiographical vibe, and I feel like I had read the Joni Mitchell thing before, but I would have never been able to pull her name out of my memory bank had I not seen it in front of my face. But I remember, now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh yeah, I feel like somewhere way deep in my recesses of memory that was there.
Yeah, I don't think I knew that.
Alright, anything else?
I don't think so.
Alright, moving on. Everything Has Changed featuring Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran did come back for the Taylor's version as well of this song. This is another one, kind of like the last time. I listened to this one more than the last time, I think. But this one is one that I have to really be in the mood to listen to.
Yeah, same for me.
Like, if I'm in the mood and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can listen to it, but most of the time, I'm like, skip. So this one is an ode to Swift's then-love Connor Kennedy, as evidenced in the liner notes, which spelled out Hyannis Port. The mention of green eyes and freckles, both of which the American Camelot air possesses. That's it, short and sweet.
Yeah.
About Connor Kennedy.
That's what my article says, too.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Starlight is the next one. This is
Also
a pretty
a great
good
one.
one. Yeah, I like this one. The article here that I have pulled up says Swift confirmed that Starlight was inspired by an old photo she saw of Ethel and Robert Kennedy as teenagers.
Yep, do the same thing.
Yeah, I actually don't think I knew that, but that kind of makes me like it more.
Yeah.
And I do like this song. This is a very sweet song. Then it quotes her and says, I get a lot of style inspiration from the 1960s, so I'll go and look at black and white pictures and look at photos from the 50s and 60s, and I came across this picture of these two dancing at a dance, she told the Wall Street Journal. It immediately made me think of how much fun they must have had that night. It was back in the late 40s. I ended up reading underneath that it was Ethel Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy, she continued. So I just kind of wrote that song from that place, not really knowing how they met or anything. That is super cool. I actually did not know that about this song at all.
I had heard that it was about a Kennedy, but I guess I thought it was about Connor Kennedy, which, I mean, I feel like there's not that many Kennedys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they have to be somewhat, I feel like they would have to be some
But how
related
cute that
somehow.
this is like close to the time when she was dating Robert Kennedy's grandson, right? Isn't Connor Kennedy Robert?
That's what I think, yeah.
Yeah. That's really cute that, like, she was dating him around that time, and then, like, she found a picture of them, and now she...
Yeah.
I don't know. That's adorable. But I'm super into the Kennedys, so I think that's super cool.
Yeah, that one, and it does, it gives you, like, that, like, 40s, 50s, like, kind of carnival, like, vibe, so it's a cute song.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that I get to end on a good one, because I've had some not so good ones
You do get to end off on a good one.
This episode. I've had kind of the duds. So probably my second favorite song on the whole album, Begin Again. And the which I'm noticing, we talked about patterns at the beginning, and I'm definitely noticing a pattern. You know, the front half of the album, very much angsty, angry, you know, burning red. You were trouble, you were treacherous, blah, 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 all of this. I remember it all too well, la-da-dee. And then we've got the second half, where she's kind of coming up out of it. Everything has changed. Stay, stay, stay. This is the last time I'm asking you this. Begin again. Now we're kind of on the upswing, and, like, we're seeing less about, like, songs about people other than Jake Gyllenhaal. So I feel like the front half was like, let me just dump all of my thoughts and all of my anger into these songs.
That's really true.
And then
I never thought about it like
it's
that.
like, okay,
And
now
then, like,
let's go
end
up.
off on a good note.
Yeah. And we're like turning it around, and all of the songs, even Sad Beautiful Tragic, we could say is like the end of that. Like, we're capping it off, because everything after Sad Beautiful Tragic is like, it kind of goes up. It's a positive.
Yeah.
Like, she's singing about more positive things.
Yeah, I've always thought that Begin Again was a great way to end off the album, but I never thought of it like that, with the last few songs kind of being like, okay, we're more on the upswing, sort of.
Yeah.
And I think I know who that one's about.
This one, this article is still from Parade. This is a pretty good article. Likely Connor Kennedy, quite tall. The message in the liner notes was, I wear heels now, and she told Yahoo Music in 2012, I had many different opinions of love over the course of the last 2 years. The song Begin Again came after the dust kind of settled on one of those situations. It's an interesting feeling when you kind of look up from it. For the past year, you've been looking back, recounting everything, writing about it, going back in time, then all of a sudden you have this moment where you look up and look around and realize there's something else out there for you, clearly, and I think that kind of thing happens where you all of a sudden have this epiphany, and there's hope, it starts over. I can tell that she actually said this because it sounds like her talking, because there's like a lot of extra words and stuff in here. There's a rebirth, in that whole horrible crash and burn end of a relationship, I think that's a pretty wonderful moment for me. That moment inspired the song Begin Again. So yeah, I also think I heard that this one was about Connor Kennedy.
Yeah.
And the music video for this is beautiful. If you haven't seen it, there is a music video for this one. It actually was set and filmed on location in Paris. Super cool. And I know we have not gotten into like Folklore and Evermore yet, but there is a fan theory that like Right Where You Left Me picks up where Begin Again leaves off. Like, she walks into the cafe and Begin Again, and then I'm Right Where You Left Me.
Ah.
So, not that Right Where You Left Me is about Connor Kennedy, but just, again, like, kind of continuing that fictional storyline.
Yeah.
I've heard, and it makes sense. Like, I walk in, but on a Wednesday in a cafe, and then it's like, I'm right where you left me, sitting at the restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you listen to those two songs like really close together, you might hear some parallels. And the article that I have actually feeds right into the bonus tracks as well. So
Same. And I know we don't have enough time for those, but
yes, we are running out of time. Maybe we can let's do speed round. Speed round.
Okay, moving on to, I just gotta put that one out there. It's about Jake. He missed her birthday party. When she realized he wasn't showing up, that was the moment she knew. Okay,
yep,
next
that's
one.
it. And yes, like she said, my article says the same thing. The song describes that birthday party. And there are some great lyrics in this song. I love this song. We already talked about that last week, how much I love this song. Moving on. Come Back Be Here. This is most likely by Harry Styles. I guess you're in London today. However, I have another theory. However, others believe this song is actually about Zac Efron, her co-star in The Lorax. Swift said, there's a song I wrote with Dan Wilson called Come Back Be Here, which I wrote about falling for someone, and then they have to go away for work. They're traveling, you're thinking about them, but you're wondering how it's going to work when there's so much distance between you. You know what? I ship that. I ship Taylor Swift and Zac Efron, man. That is my childhood in a bucket. Okay?
Oh, she was spotted on a flirty dinner date with the High School Musical actor in January 2012. Woo! Okay, I did not know that day.
Taylor Swift and Zac Efron, yes! Let's make it happen. Okay. I would love that. Troy
Moving on to the speed round.
All the memes.
No, we like Travis, okay? We're keeping Travi. Yes. Okay, Girl at Home, next one. This song is also rumored to be about Efron, who was reportedly dating Lillian Collins during his flirtation with Taylor Swift. So it feels like it could apply to plenty of Hollywood men.
No way!
In Girl at Home, Swift chastises someone for crossing so many lines while he's spoken for. Ah, well that's very respectful of you, Taylor. Good, because if he had a girlfriend, shame on him. If I'm reading correctly. She also said she'd be making a fine proposition if she herself hadn't been cheated on, suggesting a connection with the Red era song Babe, which seems to tell the story of Swift's own betrayal.
Yes.
So, yeah, which that's what Girl at Home is about. It's about, like, I know you've got a girl at home. So, yes, love this song. Sorry, speed round.
I've got Ronan. Now, these are not in order, I don't think. These are not in order. We're just going. Ronan. Swift co-wrote Ronan with Maya Thompson, who kept a blog about her young son Ronan's battle with cancer. Ronan tragically passed away in 2011 from neuroblastoma. We talked about that last week. It's a beautiful song, very well done. And Maya Thompson was his mom, and I think she has a beautiful just piece of him that will live on forever, thanks to Taylor Swift. And just seeing if there's anything else. That is what that song's about, so there's nothing else. Like the rest of it is just...
Okay. All right. Next one, Better Man. This one, presumably inspired by Gyllenhaal. All three illustrate the tragic. So this song thematically corresponds to Red and All Too Well, both presumed to be about Jake Gyllenhaal. All three illustrate the tragic irony of breakups, which are most painful if you can remember when the relationship was magic. Speed round. Next one. Sorry.
Yes, Nothing New, featuring Phoebe Bridgers. This is from the Vault track. No one specific, just a cutting take on the sexism young women face if they dare to live their lives in a way that makes them happy. The heartbreaking realization that to many people and audiences, women's desirability is tied with their youth, beauty, neither of which lasts forever. And then it just is a little bit about like something Phoebe Bridgers posted on for Twitter. So it's not about anybody specific, just about women Facing Sexism, which I love that song. I talked about it all last episode, so go check it out. And you can hear all my thoughts.
Okay. Next one is Babe. Though it's unclear, it would make sense if multiple songs from the Red Vault were directed towards Gyllenhaal. So this one is not really clear. Swift said the album was originally about one relationship, but ended up scratching several breakup songs in the last 6. Okay, yeah. So I don't think that there's really much information about that one.
Next one, Message in a Bottle. This one, again, no one specific. She just said, Swift told the Daily Beast in 2012, I take these songs and these people who inspire these songs on a case-by-case basis. If there were someone who was a good person, I'm not going to write something bad about them. If they handle a situation in a way that really messed up my life for a while, that's what I'm going to write about. For me, I've never changed the reason why I write a song. Songs for me are like a message in a bottle. You send them out to the world, and maybe the person who you feel that way about will hear about it someday. So no one specific. It's just, it's her message to whomever. It could be applicable to anybody who wronged her.
Yeah. Should we keep going? I know we're kind of at...
Yep, we gotta
I
finish.
bet you think about me. So presumably Jake Gyllenhaal seems to be he blamed their relationship issues on being too different, which is what she says in the song. You say we're too different. Talks about his childhood in a Silver Spoon gated community, and Gyllenhaal was raised in Los Angeles by 2 parents in the filmmaking industry, and she did grow up on a Christmas tree farm, so she's like comparing their 2 lives and how he said they're too different, and like he's kind of like making himself seem like almost better, or something like that. So yeah, that's who that's presumed to be about, which I already kind of figured.
Mm-hmm. All right, next, Forever Winter. This song was co-written with Mark Foster of Foster the People. Did not know that. But it references a man who doesn't believe in love and gets pulled down by gravity. May point to John Mayer. That's what this says. It's just
okay. Next one is Run. This is believed to be inspired by Connor Kennedy. According to Ed Sheeran, he and Taylor wrote Run about 1 week before Everything Has Changed, and this timeline would suggest that Run was also inspired by Connor Kennedy. The lyric, we shouldn't be in this town, could refer to the secret message for Everything Has Changed. Swift and Kennedy were photographed together. They're together multiple times. So it sounds like that's what it's about. It says, Run could be seen as a reaction to the difficulties of nurturing and protecting a relationship in the public eye, a concept she would explore thoroughly on her next album, 1989.
All right. Last one, The Very First Night, because we're not going to talk about the all too well 10-minute version. We're going to say that. Very First Night is about no one specific, just about missing an ex's better times. This article, the Parade article that I'm still looking at, was a great article, said it could have fit on Speak Now, thanks to the country tinned instrumental arrangements, but it references Dancing in the Kitchen, but it has a much happier vibe than All Too Well. So because of that alone, and because of some of the other lyrics, like, my mind kind of goes to Jake Gyllenhaal, but it wasn't specifically referenced or confirmed. Wow. That was fun. The speed round. I love speed rounds.
Yes.
Thank you all so much for joining, and if you're watching this as a replay or you're listening to it as you're driving or whatever, you can get on here later and comment. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know if you heard anything that was shocking. I think the Joe Jonas thing was, I think, the biggest shock to me. That was something new that I
didn't... Kennedy thing, though, with Starlight, that was probably the biggest shock.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
So I even learned something from these videos, and I thought the speed round was so fun. And we will be doing our All Too Well episode very, very soon. So just keep watching the channel, keep watching the page. I will try and remember to drop it in the drop the link to the video in my stories here, so you guys can know when it's up. And then you guys can go watch it over. It will go straight to YouTube. It will not be here on Instagram, so I'll have to share the link, and you guys can go watch it over there and give it some love over there. And you can check out all of our other Swift Tea episodes. And 1989 comes out in 2 days, so the next time we do a Swift Tea, it'll be 1989, Taylor's version, because we're trying to do them in the order of release. So 1989 will be next, and then Fearless, Taylor's version, which, so that'll be a good one. And then we'll just keep working our way back. We're finally we might eventually get to Evermore and Folklore and all of those, maybe, but she keeps dropping new stuff, so we have to keep, pushing it back. But, so the next time we do an actual Swiftie live with you guys, we'll be talking about 1989 Taylor's version, which is kind of exciting, and that we're here, because this was a series that we started out doing as a countdown to 1989, so, that'll be fun. This series is going to continue for a while, and we hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you, as always, for joining me and being here and being my favorite Swiftie sharer and my researcher and all that. And like I said, keep an eye out on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you scroll up and down, check out all of our other episodes, and keep an eye out for that All Too Well episode coming very soon. And we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!